In a quiet corner of an old street, nestled between cobblestones and forgotten alleyways, lived a small gray cat. The locals called her Shadow. It was a fitting name, because she always sat silently in the same spot, every single day, as if she were a part of the very stonework she rested upon. From the first light of dawn until the last glimmer of dusk, she waited. She never moved, never complained, just watched the world go by with an unwavering patience that puzzled everyone. Most people who passed by assumed she was just another stray, searching for a handout or a warm place to sleep. They'd sometimes leave scraps of food, which she would eat quietly before returning to her vigil. But Shadow wasn't waiting for food or shelter. Her heart was waiting for something much more profound. She was waiting for someone she once loved with all her tiny being, a young boy who had been her whole world. When she was just a kitten, this boy had found her, scared and alone. He became her everything. They were inseparable companions, exploring every nook and cranny of the old street together. He would whisper secrets into her fur, and she would purr in response, a silent promise of their unbreakable bond. She trusted him more than anyone, more than anything. He was her sun, her moon, and all her stars. Then one day, the familiar sounds of laughter and play were replaced by the strange, hollow noises of boxers and moving trucks. The boy's family was leaving. Shadow, in her innocent feline way, didn't understand what was happening. All she remembered were his last, tearful words as he hugged her goodbye. He held her close and whispered, "I'll be right back. Wait for me, okay?" And so, she waited. She took his promise and etched it onto her heart. Days bled into weeks. The bright greens of summer faded into the rustic oranges of autumn, which then gave way to the stark whites of winter. Weeks turned into seasons, and seasons blurred into years. Through blistering heat waves that made the asphalt soft, through torrential downpours that turned the street into a river, and through bitter, cold snaps that froze the very air. Nothing could make her leave that old stone where she sat, patiently holding on to a promise. Her gray fur became a familiar fixture, a silent monument to loyalty. The world moved on around her. Children grew up, shops changed hands, and new faces replaced the old. But Shadow remained, her gaze fixed on the horizon, her heart locked in a single moment in time. One evening, the sky opened up in a furious downpour. The rain came down in sheets, heavy and cold, driving everyone to seek shelter. The streets emptied in an instant, but Shadow stayed. She huddled on her stone, shivering, her fur plastered to her small frame, yet her spirit remained unbroken. She was still waiting. It was during this storm that a small child, running home under a bright yellow umbrella, noticed her. The child stopped, their eyes wide with disbelief. How could such a tiny, fragile creature be sitting all alone in such harsh weather? It just didn't seem right. Without a second thought, the child carefully scooped the drenched cat into their arms, wrapping her in the dry folds of their jacket. At the child's home, warmth enveloped Shadow for the first time in what felt like an eternity. Gentle hands dried her fur with a soft towel. A bowl of warm food was placed before her, and a soft, fluffy blanket was arranged into a cozy bed. Shadow hesitated for a moment, the feeling of kindness so foreign after so long. But the child's gentle persistence and the genuine care in their eyes broke through the walls she had built around her heart. For the first time in years, Shadow felt safe. She felt loved. Slowly, miraculously, a transformation began. The deep, haunting sadness in her eyes started to fade, replaced by a soft, hopeful glimmer. A low, rumbling purr, a sound she had long forgotten, started deep in her chest. She began to play again, chasing strings and batting at toys with a kitten-like joy she thought was lost forever. She was learning to trust life once more. One sunny afternoon, the child took Shadow back to the old street, back to the familiar stone. Shadow hopped down and looked around. The place was the same, yet everything felt different. She looked at the horizon where she had spent countless hours staring, and then she turned and looked up at the child, the one who had rescued her not just from a storm, but from a life of waiting, the one who had given her a new beginning. And in that moment, a profound understanding washed over her. It was a silent realization, a truth that settled gently in her heart. Sometimes, The person we wait for never returns, but the one who chooses us, the one who finds us when we are lost, can heal everything. With a final, lingering look at the spot that had held her captive for so long, Shadow turned away. She rubbed against the child's legs, purring loudly, and then, together, they walked away from the old stone. Shadow didn't look back. She was walking toward a new life, a future filled with warmth, hope, and the unconditional love of a brand new family. She was finally home. Thank you for watching. If this story touched your heart, please like, share, and subscribe for more content that celebrates the incredible bond between humans and animals. See you next time.